4 health tips that will change your life. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Carlos Reyes. If you have not subscribed, liked, or comment, please do so. I love seeing that. Today, I got a special treat for you. I got my own nutritionist, Mr. Tony Lozano, AKA the Mobility Chef, and we're gonna dive deep into 4 pillars that you can address right now to create the best version of you. Let's go. So guys, listen, I haven't shared this with the world, but the fact of the matter is, I didn't know I was unhealthy. If you would have told me like, hey man, you're unhealthy, hey man, you're overweight, I wouldn't have believed you. I didn't think of myself that way, but the fact of the matter is, I was having some health issues. That's right, I was having a discomfort, and it still comes and goes, it's getting a lot better. I was having a discomfort here, so then I started digging. I went to GI, and we had an endoscopy done, and it turns out that I have crazy inflammation in my esophagus and my gut. Then comes Tony. I knew that I needed to make a radical change because why? Where I'm headed, I need to put it all together, mind, body, spirit. So I went off the deep end and I hired Mr. Tony as my nutritionist, and he got to work very quickly. I'm talking within 24 hours. Right? So today we're gonna discuss 4 quick tips that are gonna change your life, literally today, if you start today. Tip number 1, what would you say tip number 1 is for everybody out there watching?
It's not very, it's not too much talked about, but it would be your sleep. What we like to go off of is the quality, not your quantity, right? Because you can sleep for 8 to 10 hours and still wake up feeling groggy and sluggish, but that's not normal. We're supposed to wake up and feel energetic. We're supposed to wake up ready to take on the day and carry that throughout the day, right? And it's possible, but we're not. Unbeknownst to us, our diet and a lot of our environment, tends to tear our bodies down, and we don't know how to function at that level. Yet it all comes down to our sleep and our recovery.
I have coaches, as you know, right? Man, like they really try to help me be the best version of myself. And they always talk about cell regeneration, how the body heals itself, when the body heals itself. Man, they really go into this thing called REM sleep, rapid eye movement, REM sleep, right? How exactly does that process take place?
So what happens typically when you actually have a healthy, sleep schedule, you have healthy night habits to, get you into the best possible sleep, right? And that's the thing, is like you have to have a habitual nightly routine in order to optimize your sleep. Right when you lay down, you should be able to fall asleep within 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh.
And it's like most people, insomnia is on the rise. We don't ask, why is this happening? We just prescribe, a synthetic drug saying, here, take this, it'll get it better.
I've been there. I've experienced insomnia. I remember in 2017, there was a period of time, about 45 days, where I couldn't even find my sleep. And guess what the doctors did? They gave me Paxil and Klonopin.
Exactly.
And I've been fighting, like I got off Klonopin after like 3 years, right? 2.5, 3 years. I started reducing the amount of Paxil that I'm taking. I'm almost completely off of that. So what you just said is something that I personally have experienced in my life, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
No.
I would say stage 1 of that, of you transitioning to that REM sleep, is stage 1 would be that 5 to 10 window where you're like, okay, I'm starting to fall asleep. What would be stage 2 of that?
So stage 2 is actually when your body temperature begins to drop. So what this happens, and how to optimize this, is I keep my room temperature at a cool 68 degrees, because our bodies have a harder time regulating themselves, cooling down, right, than warming up. So when our bodies are focused on warming itself up, it's not focused on getting into that deep REM sleep that you need. Throughout the day, you're moving and going, like right now, right? We're tearing our bodies apart, our heart rates are going, and what happens is we enter this state of almost a paralysis. And throughout this state, when you're sleeping correctly, you should be just completely immobilized, right? And it's like, you see people tossing and turning and all these things at night, and it's like, you shouldn't be doing that. That is not normal. You should be in literally paralysis.
Ready to go.
Literally, boom, that's it. And that's usually a 20-minute period, and when you actually sleep correctly, you will actually feel it. You will feel it in the morning, like, whoa, like and I'm sure you've had it, right? You've probably had the, like, good nights. It's like, every once in a while, it's like, I
sleep.
slept really good last
feel
night.
good. I'm
exactly.
ready.
But it's possible for that to be
We take
every
our sleep
single
for granted,
day.
don't we?
We
take
do.
our sleep for granted.
We do. And it's one of the
So much happens while we're asleep, right?
Yep.
Within our bodies. The
Literally.
regeneration of the cells, which the healing process happens, correct?
Yep.
It's a way to avoid higher, stress, higher anxiety, higher depression, correct? When is a good time for people to actually start trying to go to sleep? Because we come from a generation where staying up is cool.
hustle culture, right? And that's what it is, and that's killing us. We tend to see, all these people, it's like, oh, these late nights, they're
Late nights, early mornings.
exactly. But it's like you truly can't function at your peak performance if you don't have enough sleep. And that's why we started with sleep, is because it should be your number one priority.
Now, let's talk about pillar 2, nutrition, which is something that, man, I've battled with. Like, I see my daughters, like, we're addicted to food. We're addicted to the way it makes us feel. We're addicted to the sugar in the food, right? I mean, it's like crack cocaine. Like, we're always wanting food. My nutrition, which I thought was like from a 1 to 10, about a 7, 8, I was probably about a 4 to 5. Between the malnutrition and the stress levels, boom, leaky gut. Man, quality of life. Like, it's a bad quality of life. So you also said something very powerful. You said quality over quantity with the nutrition. What does that mean?
There's one crazy documentary, I'd highly recommend to go check out. Just a little bit of enlightenment. It's called Kiss the Ground on Netflix. And this actually, it breaks down, how much of our produce and how much, of the food that
Our food
supply directly to us, right? A lot of these, farmers are spraying our foods with pesticides, and injecting our animals with hormones, and
Wow.
It's been a huge thing, yet we overlook it, right? And it's like it's time for us to really wake up, and it's like these things are causing many imbalances in our bodies.
So how did we eat back then when we didn't have these like pesticides and hormones being injected into chickens and cows? Like, what did our ancestors do for food?
So what they did is literally we would just kill the grazing animals. I mean, that's really what it was, and that's what is truly causing a lot of the issues. Is that we
What issues? You're talking about like diseases?
disease directly. Everything starts in your gut. So again, going back to the pesticides, right? When we're spraying everything with pesticides, that pesticide is not biased.
Why do they spray these fruits and vegetables with pesticides?
It's to keep all the bugs and everything out of it from eating the crops. And the reason is
and to become more profitable.
Exactly. And because the soil is not how it should be. When the soil is thriving, like when we till our soils is when it tears up the ground, and it, like, over time, and this is why I say watch that documentary, because over time when you're tilling this soil, it's literally destroying the components in the ground, and you have to put all these things on it to keep it bringing back to life and keep producing. And when you're putting all these chemicals on it, it's literally growing in these chemicals, and then when we eat this food, it gets inside of our bodies.
So let's help people today, right? You took me to Sprouts. Where should people go get their food, and how should people cook their food if they want to be completely optimized, like at their highest caliber?
If you have these available, farmers markets, go connect with your local farmers. Go look at traceability. That's probably my biggest thing for the food, is traceability. Where does this come from, right? How is it raised? Was it sustainably grown?
What are the ingredients?
What, literally, and look at your labels. If within the first 5 ingredients on your label is sugar, you probably don't want that. You know what I mean? And it's like, look for, I live completely organic.
Let's show the picture of your before and after. All right, so who's that guy in the beginning stages? Who is that guy? Like, you're that overweight Tony. What was that person going through when you were living that way?
I didn't even know who I was at that time. And that was the thing, is I truly was I was using, alcohol and smoking to cope with things, right? And I didn't go within myself and find out, like, why do I feel this way? Why, like, truly, why am I, why am I driven to go get a drink when I'm, stressed out, or whatever the hell it may be?
Was there anxiety and depression going on?
And I definitely, insane amount of anxiety and depression. And
sleep issues?
Yes, all the above.
Issues.
And it was literally,
everything.
Everything is all connected. And once I found out, like, I started, like, My life is a direct reflection of the questions that I ask myself, right? And I started asking myself these deeper questions like, why do I feel this way? How can I feel like when I had a good day, how can I feel like this every day, right? And that's what it was like,
most people aren't even aware.
Exactly, because we're not taught to think critically, right? And that's the thing is like when you start questioning things, start questioning where your food comes from, start questioning why you feel the way you do, start questioning how can you make it better, right? How can this be a, you know, everyday thing instead of a once in a month thing, you know? And then going back to, you know, back to even our ancestry, right? Like when you look at it, you know, every single meal that we have today has sugar in it, damn it.
It was rare to see people back then like overweight, right?
Oh,
it was rare.
Almost
It was
impossible.
like, how did you get there?
Almost
Back in the day.
impossible.
Now it's like very normal.
Very normal.
Like America in general.
It's on the rise.
Actually, other countries make fun of us for being overweight, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to say this, but I have to, and it's something that hurts me, right? But because I'm an entrepreneur, and I feel like, you know, right now, for them, it's profit over people.
Yep.
For me, it's like, let's put people over profit, right?
Hit
Like,
the
you
nail
can
on the
still be crazy rich as a farmer, as a, you know, somebody out there that's in the food supply business, right? You can still be crazy wealthy and give people the right nutrition.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And heal people.
That's exactly.
So, with that being said, what about water?
Minimum, I drink 128 ounces a day, and that just depends. Like when you go to the gym and everything, you should definitely drink more water. But I would say, like, because when you're dehydrated and when you're thirsty, that's a sign that you need water, right? And you shouldn't ever be at that spot because we're made up of 70% water, right? So your quality of water as well is very important. Don't, you know, tap water. It has, you know, chlorine and all these fluorides and heavy metals, right? So, you know, natural spring water, reverse osmosis, like those are the two that I really stick to. And it's like I do everything with that. I limit my showers because it's tap water. You know what I mean? I literally limit that.
You're consuming these heavy metals literally through your skin.
You absorb everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And the thing with your water though is like it takes 3 days to fully hydrate your body. So it's like if you're not doing this consistently, like you're gonna stay dehydrated.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're dehydrated, your body is not operating at its peak function.
I like that.
And that's it.
Let's get to pillar 3, which is movement. And that's something that as a country, as a society, we kind of forgot about it,
We
right?
don't do.
Movement. What does movement exactly mean?
It's just not sitting on the couch, not
Or in an
sitting
office
and then
chair.
being stagnant.
Or an
Yeah,
office chair.
but mind you, we've been going all morning. We've been up and moving all morning already,
Yep.
right? So we've already been going. The thing is when this is all you do, right? You go to your job, you sit in a chair all damn day, and then you go
sit on the couch.
You know, you order food and you sit on the couch and you watch TV, right? And that I'm not saying I'm perfect because that's how I lived. That is exactly how I was living my life.
That's how 97% of people actually live.
Literally.
So what do folks need to start with? Like, what's a minimum they can do every day?
Oh my goodness. So minimum, go for a 30-minute walk. Go get some sunlight, some vitamin D. You know, it's truly one of the best things. Like biologically, we're meant to move. That is, we're not given these legs and this body and the cognitive ability and infinite intelligence of our body for the movement that we have.
I love that. And then what we were discussing earlier, how we're the apex predator in this world.
Literally.
Right? We're the apex predator of this world, right? Let me ask you this. Emotion, right? Energy in motion. I feel like exercise, which, you know, 15 minutes a day, like you said, 15, 30 minutes, right? I feel like that can help a lot of moods. Right? Because emotion, which is our feelings, you can pretty much cleanse yourself or filter through movement, energy in motion, correct? What would you say is something that like folks can do today to start improving themselves on the movement side?
To simplify everything, the simplest thing you can do, again, go for a 15-30-minute walk outside. Go outside, right? In the mornings,
but most people won't have the discipline to do that, right?
Exactly, and that's the hardest thing is like, I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink it, right? And it's only through, you know, people showing you what's possible that you're gonna be inspired to do it. Every aspect of your life, just from, you know, raising the quality of your foods and you know, understanding the importance of your night routine and your relaxation.
I want to share that, by the way. I've lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks, and people are like, what are you doing? Right? And movement, I was exercising 4 times a week, but I wasn't losing weight. Right? I wasn't losing weight.
Exactly.
I was sleeping, I was exercising, I was drinking water, but guess what I wasn't doing? Oh, and I was having my me time, but guess what I wasn't doing? My nutrition wasn't what it is right now. My nutrition, as soon as I switched that, the weight, the bad weight, not the good weight, the bad weight started to come off. And people are like, oh my God, are you working out 3 times a day now? I'm like, absolutely not. I just changed my relationship with food.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
It's a relationship.
That's what changed for me. Pillar number 4, me time.
That is, it's another huge.
Can I share a little bit of me time?
Please
my
do.
me time?
Please do.
And you know what? I got extremely lucky. I'm extremely blessed that my wife allows me to have my me time. Right? I'm talking about sensory deprivation floating. That's right. I go into this pod and I was claustrophobic at one point, by the way, because I'm kind of a big dude. I go into this pod. I close the pod. There's no light. There's no sound. It's just me and my thoughts, and I'm floating on thousands of pounds of Epsom salt. It's kind of like going back. They say the analogy is like you're going back in the womb. Like where you were floating, you know what I mean? Like it's so therapeutic.
Nothingness.
When I walk out of that pod, when I've done a 60-minute float, I feel like I had like 5 hours worth of a massage. And that's another part of my me time. I get them a 2-hour massage Tuesdays at 9 p.m. religiously for the past 2 years. So I do a lot of me time.
Yep.
Part of my morning routine is I wake up, right? No phone, wake up, prayer, meditation for 30 minutes.
Huge.
And my meditation consists of 10 minutes of breath work and then 20 minutes of energy work, which is like literally me just sitting there meditating and my mudras, right? Connecting my mudras, sitting up straight in my meditation floor mat that I have for another 20 minutes. So it's a 30-minute total amount of time. And I take my green juice, right? I take my green enzymes, I take my probiotics, I go get my exercise in, right? My cold showers. Like I got my whole me time for like the first hour to 2 hours of my day. Can you explain how important that is?
And what does that do for you for the day? Right? And that's the crazy thing is like
energy.
Exactly. And the thing is
kind of vitality.
You're proactive. You're not reactive to the day. And this is what I used to do. Like when I would come to work, is like I would wake up, I'd have to work at 9 o'clock. I would wake up at 8:30, rush everything, get, literally just reacting to my life, right? And I would feel rushed. I would feel like I didn't have enough time
Stress
for
levels
myself.
are up, anxiety
cortisol
levels are
straight
up,
through the
right?
roof. Anxiety, it's like literally rushing to work, And until I realized, like, I started giving myself an hour minimum, right? And it's like, I'm not perfect, right? And it's like, sometimes I do wake up, 30 minutes to an hour late. If I still get the me time in, whether it's 5 minutes of yoga, meditation, and reading, or it's 15 minutes of yoga, meditation, and reading. So it's like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour is what I usually break it down into. So if I have 5 minutes for each, 10 minutes for each, or if I have 20 minutes for each. So I usually go for the 20, because it literally gives me an hour just for myself, and it's just for yourself, just to prepare for the day.
Let me just say this again. People lack the discipline to do that. Because guess what, guys? I lacked the discipline to do that for many, many years.
Yeah.
And it's changed my life. Actually, I hired a personal coach to help me meditate for 30 minutes every single day for 30 straight days, just so I can fall into a habit of doing this every morning. That's how important my me time is to me. So, summarize these 4 pillars that will change every single person out there that is watching this and that will implement and execute these 4 pillars of their life. What are the 4 pillars? 1,
sleep.
Okay.
Number 2 is nutrition. Number 3 is your movement. And then number 4 is your me time. It's a relaxation period. So and I'm not telling you to go out and go balls to the wall on all this, right? Start small. Start where you feel comfortable. Start working these into your daily routine. And it's discipline is something that happens over time. It's not like, again, and it's like nobody's an overnight success, right? Why would we expect the same thing in our personal development, in our care for ourselves? It's a journey.
Now we have to unprogram ourselves,
exactly,
and reprogram ourselves that these things are very important.
Exactly.
In our lives, right? Well, my brother, thank you so much for your time. How can people get a hold of you?
Mobility Chef on Instagram. You can reach out, DM me if you have any questions, concerns, anything. I'd love to bring value to your life.
So there you have it, guys. Listen, we want you to be the best versions of yourself. We want you to reach your maximum potential. So please, all right, if you feel like this video is informative and someone needs to watch this, please share it with someone. And if you haven't liked or commented, please do so. I'd love to hear the feedback. All right, so we'll be talking to you very soon. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one. guys.